Just 1 second. All right, I think we're live on Periscope finally. We'll let the Periscope crowd roll in, and then we'll be off and running with the show tonight. Sunday Swings live show. My name is Chad Longworth. Tonight we are talking about the internet, Twitter, what all this stuff is and means. Sometimes I have to feel like I have to explain to people what the internet is. I got accused of clickbaiting today. Swallow that for just a second. I got accused of clickbaiting. I don't know if he thought I was Brett Porcio or what, but I feel the need to have to try to explain what clickbaiting means. I don't clickbait. I don't clickbait. I tell the truth. I share truths. I try to expose stupidity. And I got accused of clickbaiting. I'll explain it in just a minute. If you're tuning in on Periscope, retweet the show. Sunday Swings live show. My name is Chad Longworth. Spent the weekend in Detroit. Did an on-site hitting. It was an on-site training day. We did driveline throwing programming. We did hit tracks, bat speed, weighted bat programming. It was awesome. Data feedback. Just trying to get people equipped with the information to be able to develop themselves. I hate a lot. I hate most things about baseball. The only thing I like about baseball is players. That's it. That's the only reason I stay around and do this, is because I have a real passion for players. I don't particularly care a whole lot about coaches, coaching, other coaches, arguing back and forth. The only reason I do this is for players. I try to educate players. I try to educate parents on how to coach their kids. Not overcoach their kids, but develop their kids, give kids a chance to be good. Get them. It doesn't take a guru to get a kid to a place where he is good enough to kind of need a more advanced guy. Most young players don't need advanced training. They don't. They need baseline movement development. Central nervous system stimulation, central nervous system development, adaptation, intent. You get all those things right as a young kid. By the time you get to the age of accountability, 14, 15, 16, 17 years old, you're in the right spot to where now I'm going to get really, really strong. I'm going to deadlift houses. We're going to squat. We're going to get super strong. We're going to get really more in-depth on our weighted bat training, and hopefully get our exit velocities to where they are acceptable. And then you go to the game and you got the tools, and this is what everybody says, you got the tools to compete. You can't compete with tools you don't have. I just want young players and even high school players, college players to have the tools to go and put it on the field, put it on the line, and compete. Period. I mean, I'm not against competing. I'm just, guys that lead with competing don't have plans to give players the tools to be able to compete at a high level. You can't compete at 74 miles an hour. You can compete better at 90 miles an hour than you can at 74. So let me digress back to the beginning. The tweet from Marucci yesterday with Jose Altuve. Jose Altuve is talking about, he's down in Venezuela, he's on this crappy field, he's got this ball, he's talking about this ball and the lengths that they went to get this ball. They fouled the ball off and it went on top of this building and they had to go climb and get this ball, so he spent a lot of time talking about this ball, and the quote was, American players need to watch this, which I take as, be appreciative of the things you have, of the things we have in America, the opportunities that we have. We're very, very lucky to have all the things that we have. Not to say that those people, Altuve's not lucky. I mean, maybe he is. Maybe he's luckier than we are. Maybe having nothing is a more of an advantage than having what we have. But anyway, that wasn't the point. So I retweeted it, or I quote. So let me explain the internet, Twitter for you people. There's a little arrow square button. If you hit that, it gives you a retweet and a quote tweet option. If you hit the quote tweet, you can type your own comment, but it shares the original post, which I wanted to do because I wanted the video to be there. And I put, American kids whine about picking balls up in their perfectly air-conditioned cages, air-conditioned and heated cages. Okay? That was threefold. One was they had one ball. Altuve had one ball. We have buckets of balls. So don't take for granted that you have buckets of balls, because Jose Altuve grew up with one ball. They had one ball to play with. They had to chase it everywhere. All right. Secondly was we have indoor caging, okay? They were out on the field. They were chasing the ball everywhere, okay? Now, they went and the last thing was, like, when you hit in the cage, all the balls are right here in front of you. They're not everywhere. You don't have to go chase them. They're just right here. And kids are like, oh, when you tell them to pick balls up, this is not my problem. And then so I won't point the guy out because he doesn't deserve. So the guy that got butthurt about this, like the audience, like I was. So then he accuses me of clickbaiting. Let me explain clickbaiting if you don't understand what clickbaiting is. Clickbaiting is increase your velocity by 10 miles an hour in 4 weeks. Click here. That's clickbaiting, okay? Like, hit home runs in 1 week or less, guaranteed. Click here to buy my program. Boom, click. That's what clickbaiting is. Clickbaiting is not sharing someone else's tweet, giving them credit for the tweet, and then maybe pointing out an issue that some players or some coaches or some parents might have with their players. They won't listen to the coach, or they won't, this kid has got this bad attitude about having to pick the balls up. Man, maybe you ought to look at what Altuve went through and be appreciative that you can pick the balls up in this case. Not a problem I have, but I guarantee you somebody that follows me has that problem, and I wanted them to see that tweet. And I wanted them to show them my tweet and say, look, you spoiled brat, pick the balls up and be quiet, because it's not my problem. My guys pick the balls up. I just wanted, as is my goal with all of my content, is to try to add value, try to point out problems and point out stupidity. I'm not clickbaiting. I don't guarantee anything with my programs. I sell my programs online. If you do them, I'll tell you what the average is. I'll tell you what the 3, 6 month, 12 months average is, what we get in-house of how old you are. I don't clickbait. I'm not clickbaiting. That's insulting. Brett Porcio clickbaits. Like, that's his job. That's not my job. My job is to try to be truthful and honest and provide services and feedback, that real feedback to players that are really interested in trying to get better. The intention of the tweet was threefold. Be appreciative you've got buckets of balls. Be appreciative that you've got a nice place to hit in. Okay? And then be appreciative that your ball is easy to pick up. Like, they're right here in front of you. Altuve has to chase the ball on top of this building to go get it. Like be quiet if you're aggravated about picking balls up. Yeah, we do weighted balls all the time. We do weighted balls every day. But save the questions till the end so I can stay on my rant here about the internet. Understand what clickbaiting is. I don't clickbait. If you see guaranteed velocity, like, come on, really? I mean, do better than that. I mean, the guy that pointed this out, a lot of people have a lot of respect for it and the way he hits. There's another guy on Twitter that's pretty good hitting guy that sucks at Twitter too, that everybody hates. I won't mention him either, but just if you don't have anything, if you don't really know how to use the internet, then just read and don't contribute, okay? Clearly, I looked at this guy's followers. He had like 7,000. He had like 7,000 followers and 6,000 followings. Like, he's obviously trying to like farm follows and all. Whatever, dude. Like, whatever. Like, I don't know what your point is about accusing me of clickbaiting, but there really wasn't one. Like, so I blocked the guy. Like, I block people now. Like, I don't have time for this nonsense. Like, if you can't engage in a conversation that's going to bring value to my people, then I don't have time. I don't have time to sit here and back and forth with you. I mean, I really don't. I don't have time. I don't want to. I'm just trying to share ideas, engage in good conversations, which I guess we could digress off that topic into the softball topic. This week I kind of went on a softball rant because the stupidity of softball And that was the other side of the coin. Is the Altuve was, I was just trying to share some perspective. The softball was, I was just trying to expose stupidity. Like, softball stupidity it's unbelievable. Like, I feel bad. Like, I feel bad for girls. I don't know if softball players watch the show or not. We should have more softball people on. But, like, I feel bad for girls. Like, I feel really bad for girls. Like, you guys have a very, unless you have freakish genetic talent, your chances of overcoming maybe genetic deficiency to become a really good player is low, because the people that are actually developing like actual stuff, like I don't know. There's maybe a handful of softball people, if that many, that got it. If you do, okay, if you do got it, good for you. Like I don't know. I'm not accusing every softball person of not getting it. If you do have it and you do understand, good for you. Okay, don't say, "Shut up, Chad. I know what I'm doing." Like if you really know what you're doing, good for you. If you think you know what you're doing and you don't actually know what you're doing, look in the mirror. Okay, look in the mirror. Try to follow some of the people that I engage with. If you hate me, then just follow the people that I engage with and read their stuff. Like, just get it right for girls. Like, it's unbelievable. If you don't know this, I wanted to share this with you. Yeah, those who don't know what they know always, yeah, right. They listen a ton. But anyway, if you don't know this, the kinematic sequence of softball is exactly the same as baseball. What that means is how the body loads and winds and how it unwinds efficiently to create acceleration in the barrel is exactly the same. You're not going to tell me that women's golf is different than men's golf. It's rotational sports, wind and load, exactly the same. Pitching and hitting, lower half mechanics, kinematics, they wind and load. Wind and load exactly the same. Boy, girl, doesn't matter. Left, right-handed, doesn't matter. The kinematic sequence of the softball swing is exactly the same. I don't know how to tell you different, okay? The adaptable model of development is exactly the same. We're trying to create what you need as a hitter in a game. It's not a perfect swing. You just need the ability to load and adapt in real time to produce the outcome. Like you don't need. Dustin Eckert, like I just retweeted him, like to put balls, 200 balls in the outer half and pitch away, hit it away. You know, don't call that. Yeah, keep your eye on the ball. It's about all you need to say. Like, just swing hard, hit the ball far. That's what you need to say. He tweeted something about fake development, like grinding on the ball off the tee out away, grinding the whatever. Like that's fake development. Like, you can tweet about your grind and you can Snapchat about your grind, but you're not doing anything. Like, you're just eye washing it. Like, you're just paying it lip service. Like, you're not actually building an adaptable model swing, which is what you have to have. The college guys that I work with, yeah. You're dealing with what golf instructors endure. Yeah, I'm not dealing with it. Like, I don't listen. Like, I'm just trying to educate the ones that maybe don't have the information. I don't listen. Like, I don't care. Like, I don't engage with coaches that want to argue. Like, I'm here for players. Okay, I'm here for players, and tonight it's softball players. The adaptable model is exactly the same. You got to have a sonar radar to hit the ball, real time adaptability, and lots of different direct. Hang on, I got to block this guy. Yeah. All right. So you got to have this big adaptable swing. The way you do it is exactly the same as you do it in baseball. Okay. The loading of the bats are different because obviously the weight of the bat is different. But how you develop an adaptable swing and an adaptable model is exactly the same. It's not different. Ball flying at you in many different directions and many different planes, or not many different planes, but many different locations. You've got to be adaptable. You've got to be able to adapt. You know, your central nervous system controls your body in space. You've got to be able to adapt your body in space to fire off a swing and get a result, which is hard and far. That's the answer to the test. We've talked about this before. The answer to the test is hard and far. Now, how you produce that, it's great. We're going to figure that out. But the answer to the test is hard and far. If you don't have the right answer to the test, whatever you're trying to do is not going to be right. It's not going to make you successful. Secondly, and then the last thing, the intent is the same. Hard and far. Hard and far in softball is better than not hard and far. Like softball players that hit the ball hard and far are better than ones that don't. So let's try to be the one that hits the ball hard and far. You can. I know Top Velocity has good stuff. I know that. But his internet etiquette is not good. Okay, he needs to just focus on sharing his knowledge and not trolling other people's. There's a few people that are like that. Hard and far in softball is the answer to. So you can develop that. Like, don't buy your coach's eyewash that says, "Oh, those are freaks." I tweeted about that this week. "Oh, those are freaks. You're not that kind of player. You need to do this." Like, that's eyewash. Like, that's your coach covering up his own inability, or his or her own inability to not be able to develop you in that way. That's what we're going to get to. All right. So the only thing that softball people have to stand on is the pitch plane, which I have a theory that I'm as sure as I can be without numbers is true. Because I said pitch release in softball is about 37 feet. I said this week that I am almost 100% positive that a softball plane from 37 feet from the release is greater than the final 37 feet of a pitched ball. Because what happens in a pitched ball is initially out of the hand, overhand pitch ball, initially out of the hand, the force of the hand forces the thing on a severely down angle. As it gets further out of the hand and the ball's got a really aggressive backspin on it, it starts to work against gravity. So the gravity's pushing it down, and because of the back, Alan Nathan writes about this all the time. The further it gets out of the hand, the more it resists gravity. It starts to it doesn't rise, but it starts to flatten out because it's spinning backwards and fighting against gravity. So by the time it gets to the last 37 feet, it's no longer what it was out of the hand. It's flatter. I don't know how flat it is. Kyle Bodie probably knows. We should probably ask him what the downward angle, how much vertical drop it has in the last 37 feet. That's what I want. You know, I know it's thrown overhand, but we're not comparing the full distance. We're only comparing the last 37 feet. Okay? It's got a bunch of vertical drop out of the hand, but we're only comparing the vertical drop. We're only comparing the vertical drop of the last 37 feet. And in baseball and softball, I almost guarantee you it's greater in softball for a few reasons. One is that the softball has overspin. So the ball, one, is heavier, and two, the ball has overspin. So it's actually acting with gravity, if not helping it, because it's got overspin. Okay, so I just generally said, and then this bozo, like, "Hey man, pitch height's not 36, like, okay, man, pitch height's 30 inches, and then the bottom of it's 12. Like, it's got 18 instead of 20. Softball people drive me nuts. Like, it's like your point is still not valid. You're like, okay, it has 24. I'm saying a baseball has maybe 12 inches of vertical drop in the last 37 feet. I'd be shocked if it's that much, to be honest, at pitch speed. But we'll go with 12 or 15. What if it's 15, Chad? Well, a softball has 18. That's more than 15, which gives it more angle. Okay, so I offered softball people, like, I gotta have money to buy a Rapsodo. Like people think like individual hitting contractor guys like myself, or like Scrooge McDuck, like back here behind my house, we've got a vault that's got money in it that I go swim in every night. I got a car that my hit tracks is worth more than. Like, I spent more money on my hit tracks than I did on my car. So like, I need you. So I offered, if 30 people join the online program, which is $100 a year, then I will go buy a hit tracks tomorrow, or a Rapsodo tomorrow, and I will test that softball, and we'll do lots of testing on the softball, the overspin of the softball, the spin rate, the vertical drops, the tilt axis. We'll do all that. We'll do all that research for you. We can get 30. We can get 1. Okay, that's softball people though. That's softball people though. Like, they don't want to know. Like, the only crutch you have is pitch speed. When a guy like me comes along and blows that up, then you're afraid, because now all of a sudden what you've said for however long you've coached is not accurate, and so that makes you wrong. Instead of just saying, okay, well, the number is not what I thought it was. So instead of being too proud to just accept the number and let's develop off of the number, you say, that's dumb. That guy's dumb. He's stupid. Don't listen to him. All his numbers don't mean anything. I deal with that every day. I don't care about that, because the numbers are the numbers. I do what I do to help players because of the numbers. If the numbers were to indicate something else tomorrow, we would just switch tomorrow and go that direction. But softball people are... there was a question on Periscope about spin. I'm trying to go back and get it. I don't know. But overspin causes the ball to go down at a faster rate. I know that the pitch release is but I almost bet the height of the baseball and the height of the softball pitch release at that point in time at 37 feet, it's really close. And then a baseball has backspin, which is resisting gravity, and a softball has overspin, which is not resisting gravity, and it's almost doing the other thing as it's pulling it towards the ground. It has to have more down angle, which in the end makes upward swing plane just as important in softball as it does in baseball. And then they'll say the rise ball. Okay, yeah, sure. So if we're going to talk about the rise ball, why don't we talk about the gyroscopic slider? If a baseball pitcher throws a gyroscopic slider, which is a perfect slider, what do? Well, you don't hit it. Like you can't hit everything. Like, you can't do everything. I wish softball had more data in it. I would like to know the percentage of rise balls that are thrown that are actually called strikes. I'd like, because most of the ones that I would envision being thrown rise up out of the zone. The catcher catches overhead. If you never swung at it, it would be a ball 75% of the time. Thoughts on weighted ball training for velocity? I use drive line. It's the best. Just stop fighting that. Invest in drive line. Learn drive lines. Warm up. So let me back up. Somebody else has already asked about weighted ball training on Periscope too. Yeah, rise out of the zone more than 50% of the time. Yeah, like, the rise ball's not a strike. It's never a strike. Like nobody throws it down to where it rises in the zone. They always throw it at the belt. It's up out of the zone. Like, if you get into a count against a rise ball pitcher where they're going to throw a rise ball, just commit not to swing at it. Like, I'm not going to swing. Like, whatever. If you strike out, you strike out. Striking out's not the be-all, end-all. Here's the problem, all right? So let me go back to softball, and then here's the problem. We have developed a handful of softball players at the same rates, at the exact same rates, in the exact same age frames, with the exact same averages that we've developed baseball players. We get the exact same exit velocity gains. We get the exact same distance gains. We get the exact same speed. We get the exact same developmental numbers. We get the exact same. The problem with softball is we can't keep them long enough. Like, we keep them a month, we're starting to get improvement, and if they don't play good in the travel tournament that weekend, the parents get impatient and they're out. We can't keep any rhythm, because they can't keep their daughters committed to a long-term development because if they play bad in the tournament this weekend, we're out, we're done, we're out. Oh, okay. Like, are you like what are you gonna do? Like softball people more than anything are looking for the simple solution to the complex problem, and it's actually the opposite. It's a complex. Like solution, or it's a simple answer. The answer is simple. The way you solve it is complex. They think it's the opposite. Oh, I'm gonna go look for simple answers, which are swing cue guys, and they're everywhere. Like you can walk, you can go anywhere and get swing cue guy to cue your daughter up, and then the next weekend she plays good. It's like, oh, it had to have been because of the swing cues. Like it had to have been that. Like, give me a break. Like, give me a break. Like, I can't deal with softball people. Like, I can't train them because I can't keep them long enough. I can't keep them more than I think the longest term softball players we've had maybe stayed 3 months, maybe. And that's maybe once or twice a week. That's not even like real. Do you find parents helicopter micromanage softball more than baseball? Yes. Here's my question. I got a daughter. Okay. I have a daughter. She's 6. My theory on softball people are that it's harder to watch your daughter struggle and fail than it is to watch your son struggle and fail. So softball's filled with failure just like baseball is. Like you go up to the plate, the softball game is hard too. Okay? That's the simple truth of all of baseball and softball, that hitting's really difficult. It's hard. It's hard to do. And it's harder to watch your daughter do that than it is your son. Because your son, you just kind of slap him on the tail and say, get up, kid, like be tough. But your daughter, you want to try to protect your daughter, and I got that, but like it's a sport and a game where you can learn a lot about yourself if you just let them fail. It's not life or death. Just let them fail. It's not a reflection on you as a parent. You're not a bad parent if your daughter struggles at the plate. Yeah. They're just really impatient, and they're very guarded about letting their daughter fail. And that's what it boils down to. There's a lot of fixed mentality people versus growth mentality people. Read Carol Dweck's stuff. No, I'm not part of Driveline. I just look for good programs that work, and that's what we do. I've developed my own hitting stuff, but as far as I don't need to develop my own velocity stuff because Driveline is so good. I mean, it's so good. If you had issues, just get So we'll come back to softball questions. Let me address the weighted ball stuff. We were talking about this weekend in Detroit because that's partly what I went up there to do, is to kind of outline Driveline throwing programs for young players. And I said this, the studies that are done, the recent one that was done that said 24% of people that throw weighted balls get hurt. Yeah, I got it. Hang on. So that went on, and Porcio was pointing this out and all this other stuff, and then it comes out that the study was done. They were throwing 2-pound baseballs on run-ins. There was no warm-up. There was no recovery programming. Listen, if you throw weighted baseballs without proper warm-up, and proper recovery and cool-down programming, you will increase your chances of getting hurt. That's the thing about Driveline. The warm-up is so good, the cool-down is so good, that you minimize the risk. Like no training is risk-free. None. There's not a risk-free solution anywhere. So let me digress to this point. If you haven't listened to the Art of Pitching podcast with Kyle Bodie, who's the founder of Driveline, go find that and listen to it because it's really, really good. There's a lot of business insight in it. There's a lot of development insight in it. If you think you want to be a guy like what we do, facility guys, independent contractor guys that do independent work, go listen to that. I can't say it better. It's like his program, like I can't do it better, so we just use that. We certainly test and retest everything to make sure we get our own adaptations. For example, in Kyle's program, he has an arm action focus. All of our guys do the arm action focus because all of our guys need arm action work, so they all do it. That's most young kids do it. Most of our young kids, they have an arm action day. They do the arm action day, and it fixes their arm action. So make sure if you throw weighted balls that you have a warm-up and a cool-down process. You can find one. There's a free one on Driveline. Just do it. Don't be lazy. Like, don't go out there and just start picking up weighted balls and throwing them and thinking you're going to improve your arm strength. I think that's what everybody's idea is of weighted ball training. It's like, I'm going to take this ball and I'm going to throw it a lot. My arm's going to get better. Yeah, you're probably going to hurt yourself. So if you're going to throw weighted balls, follow a warm-up and cool-down process. Driveline is the best. Okay? Period. I don't know why people have such issue. People have such issue with weighted ball training because they don't know. They just don't know. They're just flying diarrhea of the mouth, and they don't know. They have no idea. And so just do a warm-up, get your Jaeger bands, get a shoulder tube, get your wrist weights, and do your warm-up, and then do your cool-down, get a rebounder, force acceptance, get a Mark Pro. If you can't afford a Mark Pro, they're really expensive. Just get a TENS unit and do some TENS work. Like, I'm trying to develop a softball one. I ask softball questions. Lord knows how long that'll take because I can't get softball people to cooperate with anything. And so, whatever. Weighted bat training works in softball because we get the same splits at the same ages that we get with baseball. So if we multiply that to the same number we had at baseball, my guess is the results would be exactly the same. We would have some that venture way off the mean. We would have some below the mean, and a lot of everybody would be right around the mean. But the mean is it's improvement. It's good. Like, I can't. If you're a softball player and you're watching this and you're wondering why you got to be patient. 2, you got to have a plan. Okay, that's it. It's not somebody put on here. You line your knuckles up, hands to the ball, like all my 99% of softball people. If you are a softball person and somebody is telling you that, they're not trying to hurt you in any way. They just don't know how to develop you, because that's not the goal. The goal is not that. The goal is to create a very real-time, dynamically adaptable swing that can fire off and go in a lot of different directions in an instant. Like, that's the goal of softball too. I think softball has more downward vertical drop than a baseball over the same distance of time. I think it's more. It has to be more. It can't not be more. I'm going to measure that. I might be wrong. I might be, because I don't know. I don't have a number to go with it. But spin and how the baseball resists gravity, where the softball. Man, if I'm wrong, I will. If I'm not wrong, or if at worst case scenario, it's exactly the same, which means upward swing plane is important. I don't know. I don't know how else to do that. I don't know how. We're gonna measure it. We're gonna release it. I'm sure softball people will say you're stupid. It's different. Oh, okay, man. Here's the numbers on pitchers that are this tall to this tall. What else do you want from me? I don't know what else you want from me. We're gonna do it though. I'm gonna get a Rapsodo. I don't know how. If I gotta sell a liver or a kidney or whatever, you can live with one. I'm not smart, so I don't know, but I'll go to the doctor and say, take this out so I can go get a Rapsodo so we can make these softball people be quiet. But I said this on Twitter, I got a daughter, yeah. But I don't care if it doesn't get changes. I'm just going to put it out. Here's the numbers. Here they are. Take it or leave it. If 5 people change, if 5 coaches, so think about this. I have 17,500 followers on Twitter and 30,000 on Instagram. If I put that out and 5 coaches change their minds about hitting, and each of those 5 coaches have 15 girls on their team, I've changed the path of 75 girls' development softball careers. That's worth it. If it was 1, I would do it. But if 5 people change their mind, it was worth it. It was worth it. That's why I do what I do on the internet, so that coaches might hear it and it might change. That's why I don't coach anywhere. Yeah, you mean I'll present a fact of common sense, basically. That's all I bring to the table. I don't have intelligence. All I have is common sense. I'm not as smart as half the 90% of the hitting people in the world. I need the numbers. Like I don't know, man. I need the data. Like I'm not smart. Like I'm not clearly not as smart as you. Like you know everything about hitting. Like I don't know anything. I just do what the numbers do, and we try to fix that. Like, so, what are you talking about? Come on, man. All right. If you come into my show and ask me what I'm talking about, it's like Twitter. I'm gonna block you. I'm just gonna block you. It's my show. I'm gonna block you. I hope you all like it. It's kind of been a ranty night, but again, the internet does that to you. And when you talk on the internet a lot and you don't get an opportunity to talk face to face with people, you want to explain yourself, and that's what I do. I want to be an open book because, like I was making the point, that's why I do what I do on the internet. Because if I can, and that's why I don't coach. Why don't you coach in college? Why don't you coach in high school? I don't want to. I don't need wins. I don't need wins to feed my own ego. I don't care. I just want players to get better. I want players to have the tools and the opportunities and development to get better and achieve whatever they want to achieve. And so if I can change one coach's mind who's gonna change his whole team, I did that 10 times. It's over 100 players. You know how many players I can coach if I coach one team? I can coach about the 15 guys that are on the team. If I can change 5 coaches' minds on the internet, I affected 100 people. And that's all I care about. All I care about is players. I don't care what school you go to. I don't care what league you play in. I don't care how old you are. I don't care where you're from. I don't care what you do. I hope I can help you. If I don't, and you think I'm an idiot, just change the channel. I don't mean to be blunt. I kind of am blunt and honest sometimes. It's the only, again, I'm not smart enough to lie. Like I'm not smart enough to sugarcoat things. I just tell it the way it is because I can't remember what I told. If I lied and I told, if you taught before using launch angle data, do you find it easier or quicker for players to learn? No, because I was guessing. Now I don't guess. We don't guess at stuff now. Before launch data and before swing data, I just guessed. Like you were just guessing. Anybody that doesn't use that stuff is just guessing. They're just guessing. They don't actually know. If they had a number with it, then they know. Like they don't know that your barrel acceleration is not good. Your wife has mixed I don't know what that means. Let's get this guy out of here too. Okay. Any other questions? Any other questions? Softball questions? Internet questions? Are there internet questions? Are we clear on what clickbaiting is? Are we clear on what optimal swing plane for softball? I train it just like I train baseball. We shoot for 10 to 20. 20's high, but we're gonna shoot there, and we're gonna shoot there and try to live there and let it eat. We're gonna be aggressive. We're gonna try to hit the ball in the air and go from there. In Michigan, at certain ages, kids play in a larger field where the perfect launch angles of maximum exit velocity would result in a fly at 300 feet. How would you approach this? So let me ask you this, Oaks Man 1. To you, what is a perfect launch angle and what does it look like? What does it look like? You can answer that question. I'll come back to it. Optimal, what are free metrics in the Diamond Kinetic sensor? The only metrics that matter in the Diamond Kinetic sensor are barrel acceleration, barrel speed, and swing plane. That's it. The rest of it doesn't have much practical use. Barrel speed, barrel acceleration, swing plane. I try to tell people that. They say, well, my control in my diamond is bad. Well, 3 of the 4 metrics that are in control don't even matter. So don't worry about it. Just look at your swing plane number, and optimal swing plane for softball is between 10 and 20 degrees. According to the hit tracks data, there is no according to the hit tracks data. Good launch angle is 20 degrees. The harder you hit the ball, the more you can go away from that. But 20 degrees at, let's say, how old did you say? At certain ages, kids playing on larger fields. So if you hit the ball, you say the ball goes 300 feet. Let's say you hit the ball at 80 miles an hour. For the ball to go 300 feet, you'd have to launch it up at 30 degrees, which is too high. You need to be around 20. If you launch it around 20, you got a knock. If you launch it up you're trying to launch it up at 30, you don't. Best way to train it is swing plane. So the best way to train any dynamic movement in baseball or softball, maybe 12 years old. If your 12-year-old hits the ball 300 feet, then he's a stud. Don't worry about it. Just keep slugging it up. And by the time he's 16, he'll be hitting it 400 feet, and nobody will say anything to you. But if you want to play for short-term outcomes, that's for you. Don't tell kids to swing down because it helps them in the short term. Practice launching the ball at 20 degrees. Swing weighted bats, you'll be better. I have a softball player who joined your program a few weeks ago. Results have been amazing. Softball, yes. Listen, softball is stupid. Like, it is dumb. Like, the results we got from our girls in our building were dumb. The bats are so hot. When they swung the weighted bats, it was ridiculous. So if you're a softball coach, put that in your pocket. If you want to mash, put that in your pocket. Because it really is stupid good. Weighted bat training for girls is really, really exceptionally good. Somebody asked about the only way to achieve real function and adaptation in your central nervous system is to use weighted bats and overload it and stay within the basic parameters. So don't change to get better results as a 12-year-old. Just train at 20 degrees and train to hit the ball harder. That's all you need to worry about. Train at 20 degrees, train to hit the ball harder. Do weighted bats because harder is better. Harder is going to open your window up around 20 degrees. Okay? 20 degrees is the number that we practice at. There's no perfect. Kid hits one up in the air at 300 feet, and he's progressing at 7% over a 6-month period or 20% over a 6-month period. He's going to be fine. Okay? He's going to be fine. That's why you have to measure exit. It's why you have to measure and track exit velocity, because it's easy to get impatient with that kid. But if you know, over the last 8 months, his exit velocity has trended upwards at 10%. And it's not going to continue to do that, but it's going to continue to trend upwards. That kid is going to be fine. If he hits the ball and he hits the ball hard, he's going to be fine. Like, you have to know that. Like, you have to know your exit velocity numbers. I know people on the internet say, "Oh, there's more to hitting than exit velocity." Like, I know that, but there's not much more to hitting development than exit velocity. If you can increase your exit velocity and you can continue to increase it over time, you're going to be fine. Exit velocity, 10 degree swing plane. I missed that question. I'm sorry on it. I can't pull up the questions on Periscope. They disappear too fast. And I'm trying to answer one question. Somebody else asks another question. Don't sacrifice short-term outcomes for the long. It's not worth it. Are there any other questions? Again, it's a great show. Couple announcements. The college training program that is going to go down in Pawleys Island, South Carolina. I am going to take 30 guys. We are going to 20 hitters and 10 pitchers. We're going to do live at bats. We're going to introduce driveline arm care programming. It's too close to the season. But you need to learn how to take care of your arm. So we're going to do the driveline arm care programming. We're going to learn the plyo care ball stuff. We're not going to get into a whole lot of pull down weighted ball stuff. So it will be December 27th through the December 31st. It will be 5 days, 20 hitters, 10 pitchers. There's only 30 spots. To reserve your spot, the total cost of the week is $200. Reserve your spot for $100. Just send me a DM if you want to train in Pawleys Island, South Carolina, and then you're out the 31st. You're a college guy. I don't want to know what you do for New Year's night. It won't be what I'm doing because I'll probably be asleep by midnight, but because I have 2 kids and a wife and travel all over the place, I'll be tired. Because then I'll work that whole week with college guys. Go check out the Kyle Bodie Art of Pitching podcast. Look it up on the podcast. It's awesome. And the weighted bats. So we are on our last prototype testing. I hope I get the adjustable weighting system back tomorrow. I hope the bat comes in this week. We are testing it in our in-house training to see if we can break it. That's the problem. We've broken everything. I think this is going to work. So we've got to test it for probably 2 weeks. It's only going to be available for pre-ordering for our in-house, so it'll be for our affiliate facilities, our in-house training people that want their own weighted bats, and our online clients. And if you are in the online community, you will be able to pre-order. If you are not pre-ordering. Because we want the feedback from the people that are in our online community, which is much more closed, it's much more tight-knit. You put up the paywall, you eliminate the riffraff, and you get real conversations with people that are really interested to learn. I don't care if it's 5 people, I don't care if it's 500 people. Join the online hitting community. You will get the ability to pre-order the weighted bats. We're 2 weeks. We're gonna get the weights and stuff in this week. If we can't, we're going to test it for 2 weeks. We're going to slug it every day for 2 weeks. If we can't break it in 2 weeks, we're going with it. If we break it, then we gotta try to figure out how we need to fix it. We've been through 20 prototypes. We've broken them. We've had to fix it. So we're just trying to get it right, so when you get it, it works the way it needs to work. It's not going to be perfect. Nothing I ever do is, but I'm not too proud to adjust on the fly. Let's hope the kid doesn't quit, because we'll get him on some weighted bat training and he won't fly out for long, because he'll be hitting balls over the fence. Okay? That's not a lie. I watch it every day. We keep a record board and I watch it, numbers go up every day. Are there any other questions? Again, this is a great, so I'm going to keep the Sunday Swings live show, I think, at a Q&A format. I like the Q&A format. I like when you guys bring me minimum ideal exit speed for Division I softball. I would say minimally, probably 70, 75. I had a girl last year that was 74 to 76, that if she had gone to JUCO, she probably, because she developed late. Like she was a low A, and then she came to us and she just took off. She'd already signed at a D3 school. Had she gone to a JUCO, I was told this, if she'd gone to a JUCO, she probably would have played in the ACC. 74 to 76 miles an hour. If you got more questions, just shoot them to my DM inbox. I have open DMs. Shoot them to the inbox. The only people that are going to get the weighted bat pre-orders are the people that are in the online community. Join the Velo Lab online community. It is how we buy and how we fund and how we get more equipment to do research. The more people that join that, the better equipment we can have, the better research we can do, the better programs we can write, the better outcomes you can have. Somebody asked about the Northeast. If you want me to come do an on-site training day for you, shoot me an email. I'm going to Springfield, Missouri on December the 17th or 18th. So just shoot me a DM. We set it up. Like, you set it up. Like, I'll come to you. We're due Saturdays, and I'll come to you. I'll go anywhere. There's a fee attached. You're not going to get my time away from my family for nothing, but it's worth it. You get tons of feedback and tons of ideas and tons of work. I try to 10x deliver. I try to give you enough information to where you don't have to pay for a lesson. I don't want you to get lessons. I don't want you to go to a guru. I don't want you to get swing cues. I want you to develop dynamically through weighted bat training and MASH. That's my number one goal. I hope you all do that. I hope you all enjoy watching Sunday Swings live show. My name is Chad Longworth. Again, this is getting really, really good. I'm going to post the best Sunday Swings video on the internet on my Snapchat, which is C-Long Baseball. I'm going to post 2 weeks ago's Sunday Swings live show on my YouTube channel. If you missed the Sunday Swings live shows, you can go back and watch them on YouTube. Thanks for watching. It's been awesome. Keep slugging the ball in the air. It's baseball and softball.